Hi everybody, it's me again. I'm trying to put together a collection of videos that will help keep you motivated for this challenge. And so you're probably on day 2 feeling like I'm already bored of what I'm eating. You've been posting pictures and I can see either you're eating similar things every day or maybe really quick grab and go stuff. But after 30 days of being on a restrictive diet, which may or may not be extremely restrictive to all of you, you're gonna start to stray or want to stray. Even I myself, when I've told myself in my head, no, I'm not gonna eat these things, and it's not really that big of a deal, the minute I say that to myself, I start craving. So I'm gonna give you like the top 10 reasons for why it's really awesome to eat at home. Because for the most part, it's very difficult to stay to the rules of this challenge when you're not eating at home. I know that social eating has become part of our North American society and even in Europe as well. And we don't typically like even hang out with our friends or our family without going and eating somewhere eating meals that are prepared by somebody other than ourselves, unless it's something like a national holiday. People celebrate Easter, Christmas, Thanksgiving, those types of things, where we set aside some time, hopefully quality time to spend with our families. We go out, we eat at fast food restaurants, we eat at fancy restaurants, we order takeout. We've got things like Grubhub, DoorDash, what else? Uber Eats, like all of these things in the world now that allow us to eat out all the time and not really have a connection with our food anymore. Even at sporting events and stuff, even as a vegan, for instance, at the Pirates ball field now, there's a bunch of vegan options available in the last couple of years. So you can go, hey, you know what, I'm gonna skip making lunch today, I'll just eat at the ballpark. And so it's kind of this tributary, to socializing. It's kind of this little thing that, even if you're going out for a drink or something like that, you might get a snack or whatever it is. And so while that's all fine and dandy and it's great to socialize and everything, it's commonly known that, people who eat at home, prep their own meals, are consuming fewer calories, they're consuming fewer carbs, they're consuming less sugar and fat, to those of us or those out there in the world that will choose to eat out. And so you can enjoy home cooking health benefits all the time, and home cooked meals, more than anything else, are going to be your best bet for health and wellness. So it's not to say that you shouldn't eat out. For instance, tonight I went out to a restaurant that I know serves seitan and a plain salad, so I can get like a bunch of salad greens like this for my last meal, and then, like 3 to 4.5 ounces of seitan, no dressing, no vegan cheese, like all the things that they would put on there. And that's typically a meal that I would eat even while on prep. It was one of my go-tos, just a seitan salad. And so even then, though, I can't calculate what the macronutrients are going to be, the carbohydrates, the fats, and the protein, because I don't know the recipe for their seitan, for instance. So even if I'm only using balsamic vinegar for my dressing or none at all, I still don't know how much vital wheat gluten did they use? Did they use any nutritional yeast? Did they use any soy sauce? Like, how much salt am I eating? Did they use any oil? Did they deep fry it? All these questions I can't answer. And so, especially if you're trying to, say, get abs, you're really gonna need to know these things and to be able to monitor it. So let's just go through 10 benefits, and hopefully this will help push you through the next few days. So first of all, nutrition. You're gonna get better nutrition at home. Restaurants, fast food and otherwise, they're notoriously high in calories from sugar and fat and sodium and carbs, and they typically, depending on the restaurant, not every restaurant, I don't want to generalize it, are it's likely that they're lower in their nutritional content. And so Even the healthier, say, lower calorie options could contain a lot of sugar and fat. And so you don't have labels to read, and you'd have to ask a lot of questions or get to know their prep process. We're eating at home, on the other hand, you have the raw ingredients there. You know what you're going to put into it. Eating at home allows you to increase your food knowledge. It's more than just something that, food should be something more than something that just tastes good and fills you up. You can heal, like in one of my other videos. You can cause sickness if it's not of good quality, or even hurt yourself with food. And cooking your own meals can teach you about foods that are high in certain vitamins and minerals, and all kinds of other nutrients, right? And the medicinal benefits, or the not so medicinal, and say antithesis of that being poison, that some food has in it, like salt and sugar, for instance. So you can learn a lot more about what the food actually contains and what it means to your body when you're eating it. And it's going to boost your creativity sitting at home, looking at the food nutrition and going, wow, I think I'm really low in vitamin C. I'm going to incorporate some ginger today in my smoothie. Or I think I'm really low in vitamin D. I'm going to pile on the mushrooms. Knowing how to use food as medicine to balance your body out is super important. I mean, as well as learning about all different kinds of ingredients, right? So, the next point is, like, the physical act of preparing your own meals gives you a new appreciation for food. It's very important to have an appreciation for what you're eating, so you're not eating mindlessly, and a lot of us do it. My husband, for instance, found a deal on like super dark chocolate bars and bought, I don't know, like at one point 12 of them or something, and I looked at him like, are you crazy? I'm gonna eat these all. And he's like, oh, come on, no, you're not. I said, well, not anything flavored orange, because I hate that, but like absolutely every single one will be gone, and I'll mindlessly, and I in fact did. It took me a bit to get through them, but I just kind of ate past the point of it even tasting good, and without any thought. Mindless and emotional eating can contribute to unhealthy weight gain. And when you're not fully conscious of the foods you're eating, you might not even be able to answer basic questions like, well, I'm packing on a bit of weight here. Oh, I feel a little bit bloated. Why is my skin so terrible? So being fully conscious and creating consciousness around your food by preparing it for yourself will make you less likely to overeat or be detached from what you're consuming. Another point is that cooking for yourself allows you to have control over your portions. Restaurants are sort of notorious for extreme portion sizes unless they're fancier restaurants, and that contributes to a lot of an overeating culture. Even with the giant salad I had today, I mean, I guess it would be considered expensive if they didn't give you so much, but this much lettuce, I mean, while it's got, barely any calories, still, I think in my head, I'm coming from a place and an age where I didn't want to waste anything. I'm kind of eating until I'm at the point of being a little bit sick. And so being able to control our portions and prepare meals at home gives us the ability to exercise portion control. And once you are able to curb that temptation of overeating and step back and go, wow, I really was eating past the point of satiation, you have less portion distortion. Like you don't need to eat a meal the size of your head to feel full. You just need to be able to savor it and appreciate the food you're eating and take your time doing it. Cooking at home jumpstarts healthy habits, healthy lifestyles. That's why we're here doing this challenge. And when you discover new recipes, learn about new foods like we're doing here, creating meal plans and sticking to them, you can be inspired to live a healthy and fit life and build those habits up to where they're going to be a permanent fixture. And along the way, you might even add some more cool exercise or whatever. Think of a career and a little bit of more of an education in health nutrition and fitness. You know, if you have a family, I think that cooking together helps you to create a bond. Family dynamics at home can be improved just by spending that time together, preparing a meal and eating a meal. And, you know, if you have kids or nieces or nephews, kids, and I used to instruct a little bit at my stepdaughter's school. I did a whole series of, this is your food, this is how, you know, we refine sugars, where it comes from, and here's a recipe that we're going to make together and try together, and you take it home and try it with your family. And the kids loved it. They loved learning, they loved touching, seeing, feeling, asking questions about where their food came from. And the benefit in the ritual of preparing their healthy meals together is creating a sense of belonging, a sense of love in the family, closeness. They get to be little scientists in the kitchen. They get to be helpers and really play an important role within the family. And they get to be proud of the end result, and of course, the reward of eating it, and hopefully it tastes pretty good. It's a great teaching tool for parents and mentors and step-parents and foster parents and guardians, to be able to instill healthy eating habits in their family and with children. And, you know, a lot of studies find that families who take the time to sit down and eat meals together at the dinner table results in far less psychological issues and a higher academic success in kids who have families that set that as a precedent. Another side issue is kind of food safety and foodborne illnesses like food poisoning, E. coli, Norwalk, norovirus, impacts like 1 in 6 Americans every year. I don't know if that fact is incorporating North Americans or just the USA, but anyways, when you cook at home, you have more control over that. And especially being vegan, when you're not in a place anywhere, at least where you can take the E. coli portion away, then you're just worrying about norovirus, which is like poo in mouth, people not washing their hands. But you can have a bit more peace of mind knowing that you know where your food came from and you've cleaned it properly, you've prepped it properly, you're not cross-contaminating. So there's the benefit of health safety. Also, another high point is that being able to control the nutritional intake of your food is super important. But as you have that control of your ultimate nutrition, you might start eating some more clean ingredients that you might start to notice a little bit of an allergy to, you or your family. And that could be, you know, nuts, gluten, shellfish, whatever you're eating. But also funny things like bananas or pea proteins or oats. You can notice with a cleaner diet more food sensitivities, and you might find, you know, you're bloated or sleepy or cranky or itchy, all these different symptoms that you can then start to eliminate from your life by removing them from your diet or with the help of a food sensitivity test. But I myself will employ restrictive diets and then add back certain ingredients that I think might be the culprit, just to see, you know, if that in fact is, and save the time going to the doctor. Sometimes they poke and prod and find the information as quickly as you. Just a couple of last points. You know, cooking at home can give you kind of a clean conscience about what's in your food, but how clean your food is, and not just the raw ingredient, but the actual, you know, meal in and of itself. You want to make sure that you have a sterile environment to cook in, and you can't necessarily guarantee that out at a restaurant or diner, whatever, drive-through. We had dinner the other night with some friends who ran a restaurant here in Pittsburgh, a vegan restaurant, for a number of years, and they had a food truck, and we were asking them just sort of about, we got on the topic of local restaurants, and asking them about sort of health and safety, and they had said that, you know, the health board comes around for inspections once a year. Whereas you're in your kitchen every day and can inspect it. So that's another benefit of eating at home. And I guess the last thing, and what I think is super important, is money. We spend so much cash without even thinking about it on a coffee in the morning, coffee in the afternoon, maybe a donut, going out for dinner here and there, snacks. I'll buy like emergency vegan no-cow bars to put in the Jeep in case we're stranded somewhere without any food. you know, eating dinner out, whether it's at McDonald's or, you know, Olive Garden, or I don't know, what's something fancy? I don't know, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, I don't know. It's expensive, and the cost may not seem like a lot for a $4 coffee today, but added up over time, we all know what that looks like. And so it's just a lot more cost effective to purchase your own groceries than eating takeout every night. Or, you know, making sure that you're prepping your food, you're making your breakfast at home, making your shakes for snacks at home, you've got your lunch, and then having, you know, your dinner available to you to cook with your family. You're going to end up saving money. I mean, there's a bit of an issue as to whether or not an individual meal, say, somewhere is cheaper than like eating out than cooking at home. But overall, if you're not wasting any food and you're prepping and using most of it and a variety of food, I think that when you account for serving sizes or nutritional intake, you're going to save a lot of money by eating in. You know, it's just another way to reduce stress by cutting down on unnecessary expenditures. So there's a lot of great reasons for why you should be eating at home and enjoying eating at home. And, you know, I started off the challenge by saying download my Stock Your Vegan Kitchen document, because it gives you a great way to sort of stock your kitchen and have the ability to have a lot of options and play around in the kitchen, make some mistakes, make some awesome recipes, and just start to learn to enjoy the process of cooking for yourself. Well, that can be stressful sometimes if we're working busy jobs that don't allow us to be in the kitchen for as long. There are a lot of great resources for 10-minute recipes. There's Instant Pots, there's air fryers, there's crock pots. So you can cook in batches and prep in batches. You know, maybe do 2 or 3 crock pot meals a week, or Instant Pot meals a week in a large batch, and prep them, freeze them, whatever you like. But they're going to be more wholesome. They're going to be more vitamin, mineral, nutrient dense. They're going to save you money. And they're going to be appropriate portion sizes if you don't go out of your way to make them too large. Anyway, I hope that gives you some more motivation to continue doing what you're doing and to continue down the process of adopting a healthy lifestyle where your nutrition is concerned. Any questions or comments, as always, put them below and we can talk about it. Take care.